Unfortunately, a few months after the start of sales, Golf 8 owners began to notice shortcomings. So, the touch panel stopped working, problems arose with connecting the e-call system, and a message on the panel suggested contacting service. In addition, the parking assistant did not want to start, and loading the settings took from several minutes to infinity. There were even cases of spontaneous braking from a speed of 90 km per hour to almost zero, despite the absence of nearby obstacles and a completely empty road. It is worth adding that problems with electronics affected cars not only in the first months of production, but also in the first 2 years of production. And after connecting to the service computer of an official dealer, a message was displayed: "Do not interfere with the car's software, we are working to solve the problem." VW. The problem affected machines both with a SIM card, which allowed them to update themselves, and without it, which required them to download the update at a service center. The current situation makes it possible to realize how unfortunate the decision is to place many car functions in one place. When the screen froze, the owner lost the radio, navigation, rear-view camera, phone interface, and air conditioning. It also no longer has physical buttons. Volkswagen announced a large service campaign for the 8th Golf only at the end of 2021, that is, 2 years after the start of production. Since the malfunction did not threaten health or life, it did not become urgent and comprehensive. Therefore, owners often learned about the campaign only during a visit to a service center, or when the system once again irritated them so much that they turned to an official dealer. VW claimed that it sent out invitations to the service, but it seems that not everyone did. The campaign reached 56,000 vehicles. Downloading new software took about 8 hours, instead of the stated 5 hours. After the update, some noted an increase in system performance, a reduction in system startup time, and more stable operation of the CarPlay function. Others complained that the system still sometimes freezes. However, you can already restart it yourself, and the need for this arises much less often. I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what breaks and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with, and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro. Of course, the question remains, what will happen in a few years? After all, electronics are sensitive to weather conditions. And I don't even want to think about unprofessional post-accident repairs. So if you're looking for a used Golf 8, it's good to have an updated system. Even better if it is a car released after 2021. In December 2021, VW made a number of changes to the new cars. Among other things, the voice command system has been improved and the computer display has been improved. The touchpad has become more responsive thanks to the use of a quad-core processor and a modified graphics card. Computing power increased by 25%. It's a pity that the Volkswagen Golf 8 of the first 2 years of production turned out to be unfinished in terms of electronics, because otherwise it is a very decent car. There are no problems with the engines, and the suspension is durable. As in the previous generation, versions with power up to 150 horsepower have a beam at the rear, and more powerful modifications have a multi-link suspension. Of the larger breakdowns, only problems with the manual transmission were encountered. But so far these have been isolated cases. In the future, most likely, we can expect malfunctions of DSG gearboxes. Most Golfs have a relatively weak 7-speed version of the DQ200 robot. By the way, she has already been subjected to a service action due to rough work. It is also unknown how the advanced SCR exhaust gas purification system will behave in diesel versions. It has 2 catalytic converters that reduce nitrogen oxides. As is known, such systems fail faster in cars that are often driven over short distances. It is worth mentioning the service campaign announced in December 2020 regarding the squeaking of the brake pedal, which affected versions with the DSG gearbox. The rest is little things like scratched black piano lacquer in the interior or a poorly fitted ceiling. In addition, there are several smaller stocks. Some cars had their steering wheels replaced. Selected Golfs underwent additional anti-corrosion protection of closed profiles, and sometimes even something had to be repainted. The 8th generation Golf made a memorable start due to faulty electronics, which are quite extensive. Unfortunately, notoriety spread very quickly, and the car was no longer sold as actively as its predecessors. So in 2022, for the first time in 14 years in Europe, Golf lost first place in sales. The manufacturer has certainly improved the performance of the electronics, and the mechanical part is highly reliable, so the machine is worthy of attention. You'll just have to tinker a little with the infotainment system. It still doesn't work perfectly in some cars. But otherwise this is a very successful model.